But the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on the news. I am Lawrence Osifo. We begin from the Green Chambers of the National Assembly, where the House of Representatives is urging the federal government to use all diplomatic efforts to ensure the return of former President Goodluck Jonathan, who is trapped in Guinea-Bissau following a coup in the West African country. Jonathan is among leaders on the joint mission of the African Union and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the West African Elders Forum, who were in the coup-hit Guinea-Bissau to monitor the presidential election held over the weekend. The House, by extension, is also urging the federal government to rescue Nigerians equally trapped in Guinea-Bissau. They made the call during plenary on Thursday, a day after a military officer took over power in Guinea-Bissau. The officer suspended the country's electoral process and closed its borders 3 days after the West African nation's legislative and presidential election. On Wednesday afternoon, the head of the Presidential Military Office, General Dennis Inkanta, told members of the press that a command composed of all branches of the armed forces was taking over the leadership of the country until further notice. And President Bola Tinubu has asked the National Assembly to review Nigeria's laws to enable states that require state police to establish them. The president made the call in a statement on Wednesday as insecurity deepened across the country following the recent mass abductions in Kebbi, Kwara, and Niger states. In the statement, Tinubu declared a nationwide security emergency and directed security agencies to expand recruitment. He warned states against placing boarding schools in isolated areas without adequate protection. The president also advised religious institutions in vulnerable areas to seek consistent police security. He directed the police to recruit 20,000 additional officers, raising the ongoing intake to 50,000. Tinubu authorized the use of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC camps as temporary police training depot. He also ordered officers withdrawn from VIPs to undergo crash retraining for deployment to high-risk areas. Tinubu ordered full security cordon and expanded Air Force surveillance across the affected states. And Nigeria's Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, says that the armed forces is closing in all overcoming banditry across the country, despite the recent resurgence of school abductions. Speaking in an interview with BBC Hausa Service, the minister acknowledged the persistence of security challenges, but described the current pattern of attack as characteristics of guerrilla tactics, where criminal groups strike intermittently to instill fear. Abubakar maintained that Nigerian troops are working day and night to dismantle the networks of responsible for violence, assuring the public that the military is making significant progress. Badaru expressed concern over the return of mass abductions of students, noting that the government has ordered a full-scale investigation into the recent incidents. And the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wadi Shaibu, has directed the Nigerian Defense Academy (NDA) to intensify cadet training with a stronger emphasis on discipline, character, courage, and strategic thinking to meet the demand of modern-day warfare. He made the directive on Wednesday during a courtesy visit by the commandant of the academy, Major General Luyemi Olatoye, to the Army headquarters in Abuja. Shaibu said that developing a new general
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go.
Sincere apologies for the break in transmission, and back to our earlier report where the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Widi Shaibu, has directed the Nigerian Defense Academy, the NDA, to intensify cadet training with a stronger emphasis on discipline, character, courage and strategic thinking to meet the demands of modern-day warfare. Gave the directive on Wednesday during a courtesy visit by the Commandant of the Academy, Major General Oluyemi Olatoye, to the Nigerian Army headquarters in Abuja. Shaibu said that the developing of a new generation of officers capable of responding effectively to evolving security threats requires tougher, battle-hardened training and models, and also a curriculum that reflects the present-day operational realities. He called for the strengthening of the Academy's research institutions, particularly the Department of Military Science, noting that they are critical to advancing the nation's defense industry and improving indigenous capacity for military innovation and self-reliance. The Army Chief also advocated a comprehensive review of the NDA curriculum to incorporate night operations trainings, improve physical fitness standards, artificial intelligence AI applications, and other emerging domains of warfare. And to Edo State, where 7 suspected members of the Eye Confraternity group have been arrested in Urumi in Edo State, as the police command intensifies its crackdown on court-related violence, kidnapping and armed robbery across the state. The arrest forms part of the series of major breakthroughs recorded between the 15th and the 26th of November 2025. The 2025 Vice Chancellor's Inter-College Football Competitions VC's Cup in Nigeria's premier private university, the Igbenedion University Okada, has concluded in a dramatic fashion as Health Sciences claimed the trophy with a 10-7-6 penalty shootout victory over the Faculty of Law after a goalless 90 minutes game. Osemudiame Osage report that the two-time governor of the state and the Deputy Chancellor of the institution, Chief Lucky Nosakari Igbenedion, and the Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Lawrence Ikechukwu Ezemoye, were among several dignitaries who graced the final and played at the main football pitch of the university sports complex in Okada.
The ceremonial kickoff was taken by a member of the university's governing council, Matt Akiombari, signaling the commencement of the final that wrapped up the 14-day tournament. The championship match between Health Sciences and Law attracted an enthusiastic crowd and delivered end-to-end football, with both teams creating several clear chances but failing to convert. With no breakthrough after regulation time, the contest went into penalties. Health Sciences held their nerve, converting their 7th kick to seal a 7-6 victory, sparking jubilant celebrations across the pitch. Medals were presented to match officials and the top 3 teams before the coveted trophy was finally handed to the champions. Some of the players described the tournament as highly competitive.
It's actually a privilege for me to help this team reach the final, including my teammates. So we are so grateful for the school, for this wonderful opportunity to represent our college and our various departments.
It was not an easy match here, but even in the first half we tried to score, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And we went to penalty, so the game was fun. We enjoyed it.
In a related development, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Lawrence Ezemonye, led members of the university management to a convocation play titled The Lottery Ticket, written by Ahmed Yerima and performed by students of the Theatre Art Department at the University Arts Theatre, Crown Estate Campus. From Okada, Osemjame Osagi, ITV News.
A prominent Islamic scholar, Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi, is dead. A former presidential aide to late President Muhammadu Buhari, Bashir Ahmad, in a post on X family Twitter, confirmed the death of the revered Islamic scholar. The deceased son, Sayyadi Ali Dahiru Usman Bauchi, also confirmed his death. However, the family and the Bauchi state government have yet to make an official pronouncement. The renowned preacher also made a name through humanitarian actions in the north and nationwide. In October 2025, no fewer than 117 beneficiaries from northern Nigeria have departed for Algeria to pursue various academics programs under a fully funded study scholarship facilitated by the Sheikh Dahiru Usman Bauchi Foundation. The Sheikh, who was also the Deputy Chairman of Fatwa Committee, Islamic Scholars Committee of the Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs in Nigeria, married his first wife in 1948 and has then blessed with about 70 children and several grandchildren and great-grandchildren, all of whom are competent in Quranic education. The revered scholar in 2018 lent his voice to the farmer-header crisis. There he emphasized that it was wrong to accuse the Fulani of the killings in some part of the country. Dahiru, who was fielding questions from newsmen in Bauchi, also said that the killings had no religious coloration. And in Kaduna, where the abducted priest in charge of the Ebenezer Anglican Church, Ungwan Maijero, in Chukun local government area of Kaduna State, Reverend Edwin Archie, has died in captivity. The priest and his wife were kidnapped by bandits from their residence in Nisi village near the Kaduna refinery on October 28, 2025 and taken to an unknown destination. A few days later, after the abduction, the kidnappers contacted the family to demand a 600 million naira ransom before they will be released. However, the Diocese of Kaduna Anglican Communion said that the cleric is now dead. In a statement, they described the death of Reverend Archie as a painful loss to the entire diocesan and diocese, the clergy and the church, and also the family, all who were blessed by his faithful ministry. The church also prayed for the release of the wife of the late priest, who is still in the custody of the kidnappers. To the exciting world of sport, where Noni Madueke scored his first goal for Arsenal. The Gunners put 3 past Bayern Munich to maintain their 100% record in the Champions League. Arsenal were dominant from the beginning of the game and took the lead in the 22nd minute when Jurien Timber headed in Bukayo Saka's corner. Bayern grew into the match after going behind. The equalized 10 minutes later when Joshua Kimmich hit a crossfield pass to Sergei Gnabry, and the former Arsenal backward played the ball across the area for the 17-year-old Lennart Carr to score from close range. England winger Madueke put the Gunners in front when substitute Ricardo Calafiori also fired a powerful cross into the area for him to help into the net. The Gunners then wrapped up with a win when Sunday's North London debut hero Eberechi Eze also claimed a pass over the defense, and Gabriel Martinelli knocked the ball around goalkeeper Manuel Neuer to hand Bayern Munich their first defeat of the season. In other matches, Liverpool were humbled at home by PSV. Mbappe's hit 4 as Real Madrid edged Olympiacos, while Ademola Lookman scored as Atlanta won in Frankfurt. And that's the size of our package for the news. I am Lawrence Osifo, thanking you for watching. From everyone here, to have a beautiful afternoon ahead of you, and bye for now.